Good afternoon, my NRP family. Come on, you can be better than that. Good afternoon, my NRP family. I need to feed off your energy because mine is a little bit low. But don't worry, I won't give up. The countdown is on. We have just a few more days to go, so I'm going to tough it out. Not feeling 100%, but I need you guys to give me your energy. So let's try that again. Good afternoon, my NRP family. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I can't wait for this to be over, to be honest. It has been very long. I remember standing across there in 2021, presenting myself to the General Council as the candidate for St. Paul. And then I was ready. Months later, I was ready. A year later, I was ready. And today I stand before you even more ready because I know that I will bring NRP back in number one. Ladies and gentlemen, this election is serious. This election is serious and we ought to treat it as such. We need to ensure that our children, our spouses, our boyfriends, our girlfriends, our aunts, our uncles, everybody with whom we make contact, the ultimate goals and vote for the Nevis Reformation Party. It is not just your future that's on the line. It is our children's future. Our children's children's future. Ladies and gentlemen, when many persons, and trust me, many people do, ask me, Jerry, why are you doing this? Why are you getting involved in elective politics? And the reality is simple. I just want to be able to do for someone else what the NRP did for me. Because the reality is, the NRP saw that myself and others had some potential. And they knew that we couldn't afford to do certain things on our own, or it would take us longer than normal time. And so they invested in us. And so in 2007, I think it was, the NRP offered me a partial scholarship that I was able to go to the University of the Virgin Islands. And when I went down there, I didn't waste the money because I understood that my government invested in me. So it is important for me to invest in you. That is something that I can't forget. Because when I look at what that education has done for me today, how can I be ungrateful to the NRP? And so that is one of the reasons why I've come forward. Because I know there are many more persons out there who just want a chance. We just want a chance. You have the ideas to do your business, you just want a chance. You want to pursue certain things, you just want a chance. And it is going to be this team that is going to give you that chance. I'm going to save my voice for later. My mother had me drinking and eating all kind of things. So I'm trying to save it for later. Because I know tonight when we go up in Brown Hill, we're making joking. We're making jokes. Because we need when we are finished that even the current representatives' family to vote for that with the right prescription. So as I wind down, I just want to encourage all of you to go out to the polls, particularly those of you in Nevis 1. We cannot stay home anymore. We have enough people on the ground who can take this for us. We need to go to the polls. Encourage your children to go to the polls. This is serious business, guys. You are not just doing it for me. You are doing it for you. You are doing it for Nevis. Because if we have given this administration 9 consecutive years to lead us, what would be, and they have failed, what would be their incentive to do better in another term? And so as I wind down, I just want to ask you, NRP people, are you ready? That's the time that you're ready for an election a week from now. NRP, are you ready? Thank you very much. I hope to see all of you. Plus some, eat brown tonight and day. Thank you.
Thank you, David. And you now understand when I say the sacrifice that has been made. She has been up with me all yesterday making preparations for her meeting. And then last night, even though the rain was coming, she said, look, the people of Charleston needs me, and the rain will not stop me from telling them that they have made a good choice. And so she stood up here until late last night. While the rain was going on, she decided that she will not be moved. And so my people of Charleston, I want you to give her your support because she's making the sacrifice on behalf of all of us. It now gives me pleasure to turn to our another candidate from number 2. Help me welcome Dr. Patricia Bartlett to present to you members and delegates of the Federal Council.
Good afternoon. NRP people, you ready? Yeah. St. John's people, you ready? Yeah. St. George's people, are you ready? I'm not getting that level of confidence on St. George's. St. George's, are you ready? This ain't not time to skin teeth. St. James's people, are you ready? Well, that sounds like one of them already. St. Thomas's people, are you ready? No. St. Thomas's people, you ready? I ain't going to ask Bjorn people they're ready. I'm not going to ask St. John's people that they're ready. I'm just going to ask them to stand up and show you all that they're ready. So St. John's people, let's show them that we're ready. St. John's, are you ready? Yeah! I like that. And you know what? A little later, come to the meeting with all of you, what is it? All of you at the meeting later, and bring all that energy with you. Because it was said before that we're all making a sacrifice. And we're not making this sacrifice on our own behalf. We are making this sacrifice on the behalf of you and the people outside of this room. You want to know this? Because it's about time that Nevis gets better. We deserve better, we ought to demand better, and we're going to get better. I said we're going to get better. Because come December 13th, we have some celebration to do, girls. We've got some celebration to do come December 13th. Because we don't win this game. But guess what? You've heard it before, but it bears repeating. I'm going to say it again. Come out of your house and vote. Don't leave nobody home. Make sure you talk to your neighbors, your friends, get everybody involved. Because there's just too much at stake for us not to get involved. Let us not sit down, sit back, and watch other people come here and decide what our fate is going to be for the next 5 years. Because I don't know about you, but it has been rough, not necessarily for me, but it has been rough on my eyes and my heart. Because I'm seeing it. I'm seeing people struggle. And that's not the kind of Nevis we ought to have in 2022. Because there's more than enough for all of us. More than enough for all of us. So you ought not to have some people who are struggling and can't go to bed tonight and some people are eating lobster on the other side. That can't be right. Who you went Sunday school for? Some people didn't go Sunday school, but for those of us who went to Sunday school, we know better. So we have to do better. And I am appealing to all of you to continue to throw. Just throw it, and I'm going to catch it. I need the energy. I need it. I need the support. You have given, and you've given, but I'm going to still ask. I'm going to ask for as much support as you have. And I need for all of us to dig deep. All of us are to dig deep. Mind you, some people pockets shallower than some people. I'm not talking about money. But dig deep as it relates to your commitment to the NRP. Because I find that sometimes we're not as committed as we ought to be.
All these chairs should have been filled this afternoon because we have at least 15 delegates that were required from each constituency, that is 75 by my reckoning. Is the same thing on the calculator, darling? She says the same thing on the calculator. So these seats should have been filled. We all have to make the sacrifice. How we expect to get it done with 5 people? 5 people can't take on the whole SSCM. Because not only they're strong, they have money. Yes, they have your money and my money behind them. So we all need to rally. We need to rally and give as much as we can. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Bartlett. And I'm making an appeal on her behalf because she has been going for a long time. As I said, she had no break from the federal election into this. And she was preparing even before that for the local elections. So she has been on the path, championing your cause for a long time. And so my people of the Nevis Reformation Party, if you are not living in St. John's and you have your friends in St. John's, call them, encourage them to go to the polls on December 12th and vote for Dr. Patricia Bartlett. She needs every one of us to rally with her. As we move on, we now go to the masculine man from Jerusalem. The masculine man from Jerusalem. If you have a man from Jerusalem with a plan, it is real hard. And so it gives me pleasure to bring him to you to address the members of the General Council this evening.
Thank you very much. Good evening. Oh, the bees going. What bees? Thank you. I am not going to try what JD Justy. My voice is a little better than hers. Not going to do Dr. Bartlett either. I'm going to share with you very briefly a life story, my life story, and what it is that drives me to be in service to me. On my way here, I was trying to figure out what do I say tonight. Normally I don't do scripts and so on. Whenever I show whatever message is on the heart is what I deliver. I've always done that. And it is because I believe that my upbringing brings me to a place where I feel I connect with people naturally. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself. And the reason why is because over the past 2 years, I've gotten a lot of support from the NRP. I've met a lot of people and gained a lot of friends. You have heard me say time and time over this campaign that I grew up in a quiet village in Barnesville. I am here because I never loved her son. Growing up in Barnesville, I grew up in an alley, and if you're familiar with St. Louis and maybe other places, you go up in an alley, it's a nice thing. You say you're going to pass the alley, or you're going to pass the lane, it's a knock on you. I didn't grow up rich, I grew up in poverty. And I watched my mother work 2 jobs and sometimes an other to ensure that her children were fed. My mother fought to protect me from certain things. It was difficult growing up and always being living left out. So she would always say, stay home. I'd always say, keep off the path. Or don't go this place, or don't go that place. And I never understood it. I just felt that I was always being punished. Luckily for me, my elder sister quite if you give permission for me to run away. And that is how I used to get up. By the age of 1, 2. Alright. When I was 9 years old, doctors said to my mother, at the rate your son is going, and I backdrop. I was always sick, never diagnosed with any particular illness. But for some reason, I was always in the hospital. Someone? Yeah. And at 9, the doctor, and I remember very well, Dr. Chandler Jacob was the family doctor. And he said, at the rate your son is going, he's not going to make it past 11. 28 years later, I stand before you. Simply because a mother loved her son. It is that that drives the humanity that you feel when you hear. It is that that drives the sincerity you hear in my voice when I speak. Because I understand the sacrifice of a mother. And it is that that in turn inspires me day in and day out. I look at my children, and my firstborn biologically is the imprint of me. I love my children all the same, but my daughter I carry on my sleeve. Why? When my daughter was just 2 years, I saw my daughter turn blue before our very eyes. Blue. And I remember pleading, take me. That was the first time I saw her turn. When she was 3, she turned blue again. This time she was in the car. And I never knew my car could go that fast until I made it go that fast. She would turn blue a 3rd time. Why am I telling you this? Because I understand the sacrifice parents go through. I understand the struggles they go through, and sometimes we take the little things for granted. It is for that reason I have come to the NRP. It is that reason, because I understand how difficult it is for parents who cannot provide for their children basic things. It is that reason I understand when children are looking at you hopeless, and you yourself have nowhere to turn. When you go to the polls, you are voting for an experience to have a life that is comfortable. It is really unfair that men and women pocket hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. You let them to serve you, and in their service they render nothing that can promote your life. Many people have said, I am a CCM, and I can backdrop that story as well. My family would have every reason possible to support the CCM. In 1989, Hurricane Hugo devastated our family home. It wasn't an NRP person who came to their rescue. Remember, I told you we lived in an alley. And so, nothing good was supposed to come to our family. As a matter of fact, I wasn't supposed to be anybody. Because in those days they tell you never come out to nobody, just like a so-and-so in your family. And I had a particular individual in my family who was not so nice. But for a mother's love, I always supported me in every single thing that I did. Never asked a question. If I said I wanted to go down the road to do Bible study or anything, there was the support. It was Vance Amy who ventured across the alley and provided building materials for my family. The beauty of life is my mother never spoke politics with us. Never said that you should do this or you should do that. And maybe it was because she was doing her best to ensure that we were okay. Now, isn't it something, and I remember, isn't it something now that I serve under the leadership of Dr. Janice Daniel Lodge, whose father was premier then, and running a constituency of Vance W. God doesn't make mistakes. Whatever it is that was designed for my life, it all connected and it continues to be connected. There is a reason why I am here. And there is a purpose for us being here. It is time as people of the NRP to reconnect with the party. Encourage your friends to reconnect to the party. Reconnect because we have always been the party that has put Nevis on the right path. In your reconnection, recommit. It is not easy. Trust me, it is not easy. I am doing my best this day week because it is tiring, physically and mentally. But there is a purpose for my being here. Reinvest in the party. Reinvest your time and your energy. JD is right. We feed from your energy. If you're not giving it to us and you don't have it at the moment, we are going to be flat. It's only natural. So keep us going. Push us. Cheer for us. Support us. Encourage us because we need it. So when I speak and I tell people I'm not afraid of where I've come from, it is because of the love of a mother. And it is that love that inspires me to inspire you to continue to vote for the NRP.
Thank you, my brother Rohan. And I believe that when Rohan speaks, that he speaks for all of us. Because when he speaks, it feels as if he's speaking about me. His trials are my trials. His struggles are my struggles. And so it is indeed a pleasure to have him to be exalted to an honorable position so that he can represent me and my family. And I'm certain that he will do the exact same for each and every one of you. And so I want you people, if you're not from St. George's, to call your friends and ask them to give this young man with his plans a chance so that he can make better for your children and your children's children. We need every one of you to vote. Ladies and gentlemen, as we move on, I once again call on the candidate for number 4. Our esteemed leader and the next premier of Nevis, Dr. Janice Daniel Lodge. Could you give her a welcome?
Good evening to all. I miss my song, my intro song, but I take this opportunity to say thank you to all of you who are here present, because the last 2 years have not been easy. And while we know that the support can be greater, it has brought us this far. And as leader of this great party, I am humbled and honored to bear the name as leader of the Nevis Reformation Party. I say to you that, like my colleagues, I think we are here together because of a similar reason. We have seen our people struggling, and we just could not sit back and do nothing. And when there was the need to rise up, I think for each of us, we had our challenges. I can look over to J.D. Keynes in constituency number 1. And it was at a time when there was a resurgence of interest in the party. And it was not as if J.D. was the only candidate, but there's a reason why she emerged as the candidate for constituency number 1. We look over to number 2, Dr. Bartlett. And we know she would have said, and others would say, that she was a CCM. And what is she doing in NRP? But when we look at what NRP stands for, Dr. Patricia Bartlett is at the right place, in the right constituency, at the right time. I move over to constituency number 3. And as my good colleague Rohan Iles would say, his compassion, his humanity. At a time during the pandemic, at a time when the people are struggling, he struck the right chord with the NRP. And that is why Rohan is here today. Move over to constituency number 5, Honorable Cleon Stapleton Simmons. She brings to the party what is required at this time, the strength and the forthrightness to ensure that our base remains with NRP. Cleon brings what is required right now because we know that they're giving all that they have. They're giving all that they have, but they're not going to succeed. And so Cleon is the right person in constituency 5 to ensure that we keep forward. And myself, they say I'm quiet, they say I'm easygoing, but there's a reason why the good Lord up above brought me to NRP at the time when he did. And when we look at what NRP stands for with regards to the strugglers, we have coined the 7 I's, that every decision that we take must be rooted in one of those I's. And this goes back to when NRP was founded in 1970. And so when some people will say form a new party, and you look at the foundation of NRP, you must say, but NRP represents what we want to bring to Nevis at this time. And so when you look at the 7 I's of industry and what NRP would have done with regards to building industries in Nevis, when you look at institution building and you see what NRP would have done, when you look at innovation and the new industries, the new businesses that NRP would have brought, you can understand the importance of innovation. When you look at integrity, which is so lacking right now, we understand that NRP has the foundation and the principles that we need. When we look at independence, we know that NRP was really fighting to ensure that the people of Nevis could be self-reliant. We now see where Nevis is becoming more and more dependent on Sinkers and others. And so when we look at what NRP stands for, we must say NRP is the party for this time, to move Nevis forward. I would look at inclusivity. I don't know if you guys were counting, but I was only 5. Inclusivity is what NRP stands for, one of the principles of NRP. And when you look at our candidates and you hear concerns about where they were, and for us, it's not about those superficial things. It's about who has the necessary skill set. It's about who brings what is needed to the table to perform. And when we look at inclusivity, I can tell you we can see it right here with Dr. Patricia Bartlett being a candidate for NRP when so much was said about her being a CCN. When we look at our principles and what we stand for, we must be able to see them expressed in our actions. The last I, which can be used for inspiration, because we come to inspire and to motivate and to get people involved. But that I right now is being challenged by intergenerational. And intergenerational means that you have a diverse group of candidates where the demographics that we represent can relate to the people in the party. And so they may say, I'm older, I am quiet, I am calm, but I'm only one person. When you look at our team and you see our youthful, energetic JDKs over there, you understand that this team is not here by accident. This team is not here by accident. This team has been put together for a time such as now to change the direction in which Nevis is going and to make Nevis nice again. And so, I understand that this is for you to ask questions, but I'll just say, when people talk about NRP and what NRP brings and why is NRP different, by now we should all know that NRP has a vision in this go-round to make Nevis a sustainable small island developing state. And when we have seen that the pillars of our economy have not changed from since they were created by NRP, this new NRP brings to you a new dimension, a new pillar, where we are going to expand on our natural resources, deal with the issues of climate change, deal with the issues of the pandemic, deal with the issues of the creative economy, deal with the issues of the blue economy. And you must understand that when we say change must come, it is not just because we want to change the government, but you cannot continue to run the economy on the same pillars from 1970, 1980s, and expect to be progressive today. And so we are saying to you that your NRP brings a progressive ticket with a competent team of candidates to deliver. And so when anybody questions the ability of NRP to deliver and to change the economy of Nevis around, to change the lives of our people, just remember NRP stands on its principles, and NRP has a slate of candidates that can deliver for you. And so I ask you to be proud. I ask you to represent. I ask you to help us, because everybody says NRP is good at governance, but they can't win elections. But I am saying we have done our best to present to you what is needed for you to feel proud and for you to say this time NRP can do it and will do it. This is the time. And we have said over and over again, if our people cannot come out this time and change the government, imagine the negligence that is happening now. Imagine what is in store for us. And so to all of you I say, and I join my colleagues in saying, encourage your mother, your brother, your boyfriend, your sister, whomever, this is the time. This is the time to make Nevis nice again. This is the time to make the change. This is the time for NRP to have the opportunity to rebuild Nevis and make it nice for our children and our children's children. Thank you very much.
Madam President, it is indeed now a pleasure to hear from you, members and delegates. If you look at our team, you recognize that we are here to hear from you. We represent you, but we want to hear from you what you want us to do. So any suggestions or what you feel that the candidate should be doing, feel free to come and offer your suggestions at this time. We have been having good representation because I've been hearing people representing small businesses on radio, people representing agriculture on radio, people representing the youths and their plight on radio. This is the time to speak to our candidates and give your suggestions as to where you want them to go, what you want them to do. So the floor is open for any one of us at this time. I'll give you a short time to come and speak to your candidates.
I was quite inspired by the remarks given by the candidates and also the suggestions provided by the floor. Sometimes I speak to some of my NRP supporters and they would feel overwhelmed that we can't do this because CCM is going to thief the election or CCM is going to buy the election. But when we look at the change that is happening across the Caribbean and right there in St. Kitts, people have come to a point where they're fed up of poor performance. People have come to a point where they understand that better can be done. And so I would want us to stay focused. I would want us to believe that we can do it because your candidates believe that we can do it. And we want each person to have that strength to forge on. And regardless of how much money you may hear is being spent on election day, regardless of how many planes you hear are coming in, remember, we are all here for a reason, and maybe it was not our own doing. And we know the saying, God brought me to it, and He will bring us through it. So have faith and have the confidence. And we will walk in confidence and march in confidence because this election is ours to win. It is ours to win. It is up to us to come out. Especially the persons who want to stay in their homes. And when the outcome is not what they would like, they said, I shoulda, I coulda. This is not the time for that. As the good gentleman said, the time for the next exam is 5 years down the road. Much too long to wait. So let us dig in now. Let us dig in now. Continue the extra canvassing. Do what we have to do because we are this close. We are this close. As I said, we have them going Bazadi. We have them going Bazadi. We will stay focused. We know where we're going. And so I ask each of you, to encourage someone, especially who have not voted before, to come out on election day. We have a strong message, we can do it, and we're asking for your help to ensure that NRP gets the opportunity to represent the beautiful people of Nevis once again. Thank you, everybody.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for affording us this opportunity to come together. There's some entertainment and some refreshment there for you. Please partake and enjoy. And see you tonight at Dorset.